Hi, hello, listener of Never Morphed. If you like this show, I am convinced you are going to love The Newest Olympian by Mike Schubert. Why am I so certain? Because that's one of the shows that inspired this show. Real ones who listen to the credits already know. Each week, Mike dives into the Percy Jackson series, which I love, joined by guests who are longtime fans of the Rick Riordan series. If you haven't read these books yet, this is the perfect way to get started and read along with Mike. They're so good. And like Animorphs, they're kids' books that touch on way more serious topics than you might expect. And they're about worldwide mythologies, starting with Greek and Roman. I know you gays love mythology. If you have already read the books and know how good they are, you'll love this series too. The dramatic irony, man. And if you know about the books from the Disney Plus series, Mike has done interviews and conversations with some of the cast of the show on The Newest Olympian too. Mike is a great host, a great editor, and obviously a huge inspiration for me. You can find The Newest Olympian in the show notes or wherever you get your podcasts. Go subscribe right now and enjoy. Brought to you by Hug House Productions. Hey guys, what up? It's another episode of Nevermorphed, and I'm doing fucking bad. Woo! Yeah! Woo! As always, this is a podcast. I read Animorphs. And it's not for babies, even though it's a book for children or young adults or middle grade or however we're going to categorize it. Anyway, guess who's been unmedicated for like a month? It's me, but I'm back on my meds, baby. But also, guess what it is outside? It's fascism. It's fascism outside. It feels kind of unreasonable to be making this podcast and to not mention that it's fascism outside. This is a wild time to be reading this series. I'll tell you what. It feels great to read this series, but also, how y'all holding up? I'm not doing a great job at that, but I'm here because I love Animorphs, and I hope that you're here because you love Animorphs and because the show does anything for you. I hope you are getting anything out of this show, if it's just a little bit of comfort or solace. Not the Dragon Age kind, that's a different podcast called How to Act for Elden. Solace with an ACE at the end. Again, different solace. I do understand that in that game, he is potentially asexual as well. That's a different podcast. That's How to Act for Elden. Did you know I make different podcasts? Maybe you'll enjoy them too. But I hope mostly that you enjoy this podcast and your time here. And I'm so sorry that it's fascism outside. And if you're not in the United States, I'm so sorry that we are forcing it to be fascism outside, and that we are financing it being fascism outside. So here is this next episode with sweet Joshy Rubino, and then we'll get into book 12, and then we'll have times together. Josh is so good. I think we can all agree Josh is so goddamn good. I've talked about Windfall, but you should also really listen to the KINGMAKER histories, where Joshy is one of the three main characters. And he is just simply a delight. And I think if you're looking for something that is not quite escapism, but not quite not escapism, the KINGMAKER histories is great. It's like if you took Stardust and subtracted Neil Gaiman. Jesus Christ, what a time. Stardust, if you subtracted Neil Gaiman and made it more real world and also sort of Arrested Development, but also over the top, gay, fun, kind of a Howl's Moving Castle vibe sometimes. Listen, go check out the KINGMAKER histories and enjoy this episode, and I hope you're well. Patreon.com/HugHousePods, I suppose. Okay, enjoy. So Jake wakes up on this jungle floor. There is a cool ass bug on him.
Why
and
isn't
instead
he?
of being like,
Yeah.
get the DNA, idiot. What are you doing? He just brushes it off of him. No.
Yeah.
Get the DNA.
At the very least, I would get the DNA. I would definitely want it as a pet. I love beetles.
Oh, absolutely.
Beetles are cool.
Yes. They're good. And like, when else are you going to have the opportunity to get fucking jungle DNA, Jake?
Right?
Like,
I would be touching
come on,
everything. I would be a little kid in, honestly, anywhere. Just all they do is just like touch every single thing. Like, I would be just, ooh, new shape. I can use this. Yeah.
Yep. Everything.
He gets like, they all get like 2 morphs while they're here. I don't understand it.
Fucking ridiculous. Touch more shit. More shit. There is this moment. So Jake is alone after they've crashed. He's looking for the others and he keeps talking to himself. And I don't know why. I don't know why this line made me laugh so much. He's walking around in the jungle and he says, "The visions I said to no one." Like, just the image of this child, like, doing the, like, I imagine him in, like, the welcome to Chili's stance in this jungle, just saying, "The visions." Like, the visions. It's so funny in my head.
He has a different internal voice. Like, he has a normal kid voice, but in his brain, it's the visions. Like,
absolutely.
There's also, I really love the line where he's like, "I can't begin to explain what the rainforest is like. To explain it, you'd have to be a poet and a scientist and a horror writer." Oh, yeah. I loved that. That was so cool.
Go. Yeah, the prose writing in these books has only gotten better. As I was editing for book 10, there's a chapter that I called, like, hands down the best chapter in any of these books so far in the line-by-line writing. And I feel like in this book, it's taken a little bit of a backseat, but this book overall is just a goofier, sillier book, and it still has tremendous prose. Just tremendous.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Once you hit the jungle, there's bits here and there. The fly parts I thought were really cool, but once you hit the jungle, they dance around in this setting, and it's so it's fun. It's fun to see how much fun they're having describing everything.
I don't know about for you, but when I was little, there were certain like ecosystems that to me were the epitome of magical. I think part of this is probably because I grew up in a desert, so like we didn't really have a lot of plants, or I was going to say that we didn't have a lot of ecological diversity, but that is not true at all. Arizona is insanely ecologically diverse. But it didn't feel like it growing up. It just felt like dirt. So rainforests for me were like, again, like epitome of magic. I could not even conceptualize what that would be like. And reading all of this put me right back there again. It was like, experiencing that same sort of magic after learning how rainforests work the first time and seeing pictures the first time. Like, this made me want to go to a rainforest so bad, even though I know I would not have a good time in a rainforest.
Oh no! The way they describe the humidity alone made me feel sticky. I did not care for, like, they would describe all of the lush ecosystem that's ready to kill you. They would incorrectly describe piranhas, and then they would talk about just like the air just like sucking moisture out of you, and you're covered in sweat and just and I was like, oh no, I'll take all the poison stuff, but I don't want any of that humidity.
No. If I couldn't cut it in Disney World in August, I know my limits, and they are not rainforest.
Yeah. Same.
So he is just talking to himself. He is convinced that he that he has square dancing induced insanity.
Honestly, that would explain so much about our country if that was a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would buy it. I would buy it. He's looking for the others, and he's just like, being alone in the rainforest, it's probably not good. It's probably not very safe. But luckily, Tobias has him. He flies into the scene. He's rounded everybody up. He is on top of it.
On it. And I love how Jake's like, oh no, I don't know where Rachel or Cassie or Marco is. And then Tobias is like, how about Tobias? And yeah. I'm like, oh, you Han Solo motherfucker.
Literally. I love him so much. He's so good, this bug.
He's really coming to his own in this.
Oh, so the bug fighter is like totaled. Like this shit's not going anywhere. They regroup because Tobias has already rounded everybody up except for Jake. And Cassie, just being smart and knowing things, is like, yeah, so we're definitely probably in Central or South America in a jungle. Here's how I know this. Here's the flora and fauna.
Yeah. She like sticks her finger in her mouth and then like holds it out for a second. It's like longitude 38 degrees. Like,
and then Marco is making some dark jokes and Jake laughs and says, "You're always such an optimist, Marco." They're in love.
They are. You're always such an optimist, Marco, and you have eyes that I could get lost in. So, what is the plan, guys?
And then we get to the term that I will never read correctly until I've tried reading it like 4 times. Axe says that they are in a Sario rip.
A Sario rip. Now, everyone that has just heard that should immediately be like, oh, okay, no, they're in the Hello Kitty vortex. Yeah. That's what happened. Their lasers connected and a Bats Maru explosion occurred. Okay,
so Sario rip. Every time I saw this phrase, I thought Sanrio rap as like poke rap, And I was like, we can't do this. But a Sario rip is a rip in space-time. Axe knows about this from school, but like you've mentioned, he was thinking of a game and a pretty girl, so he doesn't really remember all the details. They don't know if they've gone forwards or backwards yet either.
Yeah. Axe could tell. Axe still knows the time. Like his brain, despite everything and being like tossed about in space-time, still could tell you the exact moment, but he could not give you the date.
Yes. So we do know that we are at 1:22 p.m. again. And it does, I think, become pretty clear pretty fast. This is the same day. They've only just gone backwards in time a little bit. Mm-hmm. We have another moment where Marco speaks just like how I speak normally right now. They're talking about like the creatures in the jungle, and somebody says, plus there is at least one large predator, the jaguar, and Marco just says, love their cars. Completely me moment, a thing I would absolutely say right then.
I mean, you gotta,
you gotta
when you're in that situation, you gotta. Yeah, and he's trying to show off for Jake.
Yeah. And this is when Rachel is like, yeah, we're in the rainforest and we don't even have weapons. And Tobias is like,
why do you need weapons?
Why would you need weapons?
The bigger thing is they don't have shoes.
Yes, that's such a nightmare. But I just love that moment of just Tobias being like, why?
I saw you destroy a car as an elephant. Why do you need a weapon? What is a gun gonna do in comparison?
And then I must talk up your very funny joke here. I put in my notes, I think I should rewrite all the dialogue to Animorphs with them as obnoxious Tumblr gays. And he sent me a screenshot and said, you did, it's called Valence.
Like, the
dead
parallels.
Dead on. So Axe thinks that he can get this bug fighter back up and working, but it's going to take him 20 years to get the software back to where it's supposed to be. And they're like, well, that's not going to happen, Axe. So can you figure something out? And Axe is like, man, I guess, I hope so.
This was not my elective. Like, no. This is not what I spent. I was a history major. Like, what do you want from me? I'm 12.
I'm literally 12, guys.
Yeah. I said it once and I'll say it again. Poor Axe gets dumped on in this book.
He really does. He did not deserve any of this horse shit. No. Him and Jake are in very similar positions here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 20 to 30 Hork-Bajirs around. Tobias is seeing this. There's a spear that comes at them, and it's just a fucking mess. So the plan is that Axe is going to stay by the bug fighter to try to get it like operational again. The rest of them are going to fuck off into the jungle to stay hidden, which seems like a fucking awful idea.
Yeah, why are you splitting the party? Like,
right,
I know why, but like, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Chapter 13, it's 1:48 p.m. They fucked off into the jungle without Axe. They've got no fucking shoes. They hear a commotion, and the Hork-Bajir are advancing on Axe. So Jake has, he morphs into Tiger. Rachel morphs into Bear. They're going to go give Axe some help. They have the others stay behind in case they need backup, which I think is maybe the only good moment of splitting the party. Like, that's the only time that's smart.
That makes sense. But
yes.
And poor Rachel is learning there is a vast difference between jungle and deciduous forest.
Yes. Meanwhile, Jake in Tiger Morph is like, oh, I belong here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the descriptions are so gorgeous. Again, really rich, really lush. Like, he is so in tune with everything alive in the forest. It's such gorgeous writing here.
Yeah, it's not here. I think it's later on when they're in jaguar mode, but when they talk about being like a creature at the top of the food chain, it's so different. And it was such a great passage.
Really, really good. Really just strong environmental writing this whole time. Jake is trying to decide if he's going to follow Rachel, who's just fucking off as she does, or if he's going to go try to find Axe. So luckily, as he's like struggling to make a decision, Tobias comes in with the assist again. And he is like, hi, here's where you're going. Here's where you should go. Here's what to look out for. Tobias leads him to some of the Hork-Bajir. Jake starts fighting, and he gets to fucking roar. Like, this is where he's from. This is the environment where he can do it. He roars, and it's so loud, and he feels so fucking cool. And I gotta hand it to him. That was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, absolutely. He's, I love seeing them when they're having fun in their morphs.
Yeah.
And as sad as I am about watching a bunch of Hork-Bajir get just absolutely minced, Jake is just taking these things down, and poor Rachel just looks like me on a treadmill. Just
yeah, she's not doing so hot.
No, a bear is covered in fur and fat and like thick muscle, and it is not ready. It is not prepped for this environment. And
not even a little. Girl, you should have gone elephant for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Why didn't she? Yeah. But like, she gets kind of cut up pretty badly, and she falls over and then is just like consumed by ants.
Yeah. This whole scenario,
horrifying.
Absolutely horrifying. And not the typical Animorphs horrifying, where it's like they morph into something and then that's disgusting. Like, so what happens is, first Jake gets bitten by a snake, has to demorph, and then he sees Rachel, and she is being devoured by a colony of ants who are like on her wounds and taking like taking pieces of her chunks of her body.
And they're like going in her ears. And and I do like how the Andalite technology functions the same way as druid shapeshifting in D&D. Like, all your wounds are healed.
It's DNA. I love it. I think it's great. And thank God. And also, this is the first book where I it really occurred to me, like, oh, Tobias does not have that luxury.
Yeah.
Like, he gets hit. That's it.
He's hit. Like,
he's hit.
And then so Jake has to I will say his solution to this is pretty clever.
It's brilliant. It's also vile.
Absolutely. So Rachel is like unconscious as a bear. She's getting chunks ripped out of her. Jake is like, Tobias, I need you to find me another ant colony. And Tobias finds him one. And Jake rips out a bunch of bloody fur from the bear and uses it like breadcrumbs to get this other ant colony onto Rachel to sort of give her time for to wake up, because these ants are just going to start murdering each other immediately upon contact.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know what to do. I'll start an ant war. And he's right. And it's brilliant. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I remember when I was an ant and it was horrifying.
Yeah. It's genius. It's a really good solution. And I do think that it works probably faster and better than anything else would have. It's just so awful.
And then, these poor kids, this is very much like they're in Jumanji. Like, everything that could possibly hurt them is like cranked up to 10. So Rachel wakes up and she starts demorphing, but she's still kind of covered in ants. So she runs into a nearby river, and then they immediately have to get out of the river because there's piranha, and piranha don't eat like they do in cartoons.
No, that's not how they work.
No, piranhas don't work like that. They look very cool, and they can eat very fast, but they won't really attack humans unless there's no other food. And they don't really go after big mammals.
Yeah, no. That would be very foolish.
Yeah. They're tiny fish.
Yeah, they're pretty tiny. It wouldn't go like that. I was just like, all right, we're already doing horse shit and time travel. You can have the piranhas. It's fine.
Yeah, why not? We'll give you, Warner Brothers cartoon piranha.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a big Acme crate in the middle of that river.
And Anvil lands on the bug
fighter. They escape Visser 3 by painting a tunnel into the side of a cliff.
So chapter 15, we are back at 3:09 p.m.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, Animorphs. Back to that. I got
back to horror and comfort.
Yeah.
So Axe has finally made his way back to them, and he is now a spider monkey. This rules. This is such a fun morph to add in here.
Oh yeah.
He has the computer core of the bug fighter with him. He barely made it out alive, but he knows that they can't fly this thing without this core. So he's got it. There is a human controller walking around with the Hork-Bajir to basically say, yes, this is a creature that does live in the rainforest. No, this is not a creature that lives in the rainforest. So that the Hork-Bajir know who to shoot, thinking that they are these Andalite bandits.
Yeah.
This human controller does not seem to be doing a good job.
No. The human controller very much has a Gotham City goon attitude about this entire thing. He's just walking around, nah, I don't like that monkey. He's 5 seconds from just going, oh no, it's the bat. He has that exact vibe. And this is where we get that awesome Visser 3 little monologue where I wrote the entire thing down because
give it to us, Josh. Give it to us.
This guy is just like shooting into the trees, and all of a sudden, just this anaconda drops down on him and turns into Visser 3, and it's just. Did it occur to you that the bug fighter is less than 100 yards from here? Did it occur to you that Dracon beams travel a long way? Did it occur to you that we cannot get back to our own time without the bug fighter? And did it occur to you that I might be in Morph and that you might end up shooting me? And the entire time I'm reading this, I'm like, oh no, this guy is shitting himself. If he's not, then he is stupider than he looks. Like,
yes. It's so good. As soon as Visser 3 arrives on scene here, he has 2 lines, and in both of them, immediately he uses the word fools. Like, we are at peak Visser 3 in this book. I fucking love it.
Visser 3 shows up in any scene like Meryl Streep in any movie. Just fools! Thunderclap, thunderclap. Just steals every drop of attention from the entire room, poses, and then I love Visser 3 so fucking much. He is great.
He's a fantastic little guy. We love him. We love him.
Yeah.
So they think, like, okay, well, we should follow Visser 3 because probably he's going to get back to the bug fighter. We're going to try to figure out how to get the fuck out of here. I guess we should follow him. So, chapter 16, we're at 3:40 p.m. And they're all getting monkey morphs. The spider monkey.
So fun. I wish they could have spent an entire book like this. I wish this was their beach day where they could just be monkeys and play.
Exactly.
And this is where the hot monkey thing comes in because they're like, oh, how are we going to get the attention of the monkeys so that we can get their DNA? And Axe is like, well, I found out when I transformed that apparently my monkey was female, and I can get their attention. Don't ask me any more questions.
Yeah. He was like, so pretty much I'm a baddie. And I've got this.
I'm the monkey equivalent of Marco's mom. And
and it works. It works. So they all get a spider monkey morph, and they're just having such a fucking great time with it. They're having so much fun. They're climbing all the way up into the trees, no problem. This is their first time in a morph with a prehensile tail, and they're like, oh, this is sick. This is so cool. It's great. And then they're just following Hork-Bajir in the forest at the treetops in their monkey morphs, and it sounds so fun.
And they lose themselves for a little while just like playing tag. And at one point Marco's like, oh, we overshot the Hork-Bajir by like a lot. But can we play tag some more? It was really sweet.
Very cute. I wish that they could just have nice times.
Oh, God. Me too.
And then they don't even remember. They don't even get to remember any of this. It sucks.
No, it's awful. And they don't even keep the morphs. Like,
I know. Oh my God, that's right. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And I will say, like, all of that bullshit where, oh no, Jake, you're the only real person here. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Not even sci-fi bullshit. That's fuck. How am I gonna wrap this up in 25 pages? Bullshit.
This is like easily one of the laziest books they've written, but it was still such a fucking good time that like I'll let them have it. And also like I hope that they got a nice break after writing this one. I hope that they just churned this one out, no problem, and then just got to go take a little nap.
Yeah, they got to write something not as heavy, although one of the children does die.
Yeah,
and that's like one of the things that's going on this entire book is Jake is like, oh, okay, so the only way to get back through the Hello Kitty rip is we have to do the same explosion all over again. Yes. And Axe is like, yes. Yeah. And in that way that you can like in the way that you can like hear the ellipsis. Like and everybody's like, okay, Axe, is that the only way? Yes.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, and they go over this and I think, is it this chapter or it might be later on where Jake is describing the visions that he's been having and Axe is like, "Oh yeah, no, that's because you're the only real one and we are like time echoes."
Yeah. So I think that's further on. I could be wrong, but I remember him like not telling them for like way fucking long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't even tell them about the like other way you can fix the Sario rip until after like it's like the very end of the book. Until after Jake does the thing. So
Right. So chapter 17, we're at chapter 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 17, we are at 4:23 p.m. They are following these Hork-Bajir and one human controller. The human controller is again doing his little shtick. He like points to a wild boar and he's like, "I don't like that pig," and so they shoot it.
Fuck that pig!
So stupid.
Yeah.
They're hoping that the Hork-Bajir are going back to the bug fighter, but they kind of just seem like they're doing fuck all. Like it doesn't seem like they're doing anything in particular.
Yeah,
Jake almost.
Humans are not made to be in the jungle, or like,
Nope.
Humans that weren't raised in the jungle were not meant to be in the jungle. So that poor controller is having the shittiest day.
Yes. He's also like completely like out of breath and looking exhausted trying to keep up with these Hork-Bajir. It's not going well for him.
The Hork-Bajir, for all intents and purposes, look like they're having a great time.
Yeah, they seem to be doing fine. Same with the Taxons, who later on when we see them, they're like, oh, the Taxons could just live here. Like, this seems great for them. So there's a Dracon beam that's shot at a tree. Jake almost falls out, and then his tail catches him without him even having to think. And then he starts getting shot at because he doesn't seem like an actual monkey, which is true. Yeah. And then they just start shooting all the monkeys and all the trees.
It's absolutely a Gotham goon moment. Just, I don't like that monkey.
Yeah.
One of them's the bat. Like,
I like that Jake has this moment where he's like, listen, I know logically that human lives and animal lives are different. And I know especially that human lives and tree lives are different. But I didn't like this. No. This made me feel bad.
This fucking sucks.
Like to see this.
Yeah. It's a little Beast Boy moment. Like, I've been half those animals.
Yeah. So Visser 3 gets in the 2 fools and 2 lines. I love him. He starts yelling. And then, so they're like approaching this bug fighter. Yes? No, this is, okay. So Visser 3 is here. They're all yelling. The bug fighter, he says, is close by. This is when he does this monologue. And then they realize they have to, again, perfectly recreate the Dracon beams, touch and tips, as I say in my notes.
You have to touch the tips of lasers. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Figure that one out. Chapter 18, we're at 5:25 p.m. We know that 8:19 is going to be like kind of the last moment for them. So time is going fast and it's really stressful. So they demorph to plan. And this is when Tobias, they notice, has a singed tail feather from the Dracon beam. And this is when I was like, oh yeah, no, like if he gets hit, he's gone forever. Yeah. He doesn't get to demorph and morph again. Like he's fucked.
It's like in Mario where like when you have a power up, if you get hit, you just turn into little Mario. But he's just little Mario. He doesn't have. He's just got the one hit.
Yep. Oh, it makes me so nervous. Oh, so
Axe has the computer. Again, says that the bug fighter can't fly without it. Jake is like guilting himself this whole time for being a bad leader and making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. He has a whole thing about the worst part of being a leader is asking other people to sacrifice themselves for you.
Yeah.
Which I think when you feel guilty about that makes you a good leader.
I agree. Jake, you're doing great. I love you so much, baby. Don't even worry about it.
He's doing just fine, but being a paladin is hard.
Yes. At this point, the indigenous people of this area are like, hey, what's up? And then they start like sort of half speaking to each other. Marco recognizes that they're either speaking Spanish or Portuguese. So he can like kind of make out what they're saying. This is like the most 101 Spanish or Portuguese I've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like, oh, Portuguese, that's a type of Spanish. And like a large subset of people reading this book are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Marco?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I will say, as somebody who has tried the undertaking of learning Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese at the same time, I can tell you that there is just enough crossover to fuck you up the whole time.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing with Romance languages is I know French, a little bit of Italian, and enough Latin that I can really trip myself up or guess what's going on. Like, things either go exactly back to where they were in Latin or completely the opposite. And there's no particular ruling one way or the other.
Yep, exactly. I'm back on my Italian Duolingo bullshit. And anytime I don't remember a word, I will almost always remember it in Spanish. And it is really a crapshoot on whether or not that fucks me. So they are communicating. And one thing that I really like about how this this group of people is discussed is that they're given complete benefit of the doubt. Like the Animorphs are just talking to them, and like there is this like attempt at mutual understanding from both parties. At one point they see the spear and they're like, this spear kind of looks like shit, and Cassie is like, well, it's definitely tipped in poison. The indigenous culture here would not waste their time on shitty weapons unless there was something that we're not seeing, so it's probably poison. And I thought that was like very generous for the time, like much better than I was expecting.
Still
not great, but like way better than it could have been.
Not great, but yeah, it's like, I feel like it's a solid B- maybe.
Yeah. We'll take it. For the 90s, we'll take it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are grading on a curve here, but it's it's definitely not the worst that it could have been. But don't do that anymore, guys.
Yeah. Yep. We can do better now. We can do better. Go watch Prey.
Oh, yeah. That movie kicks ass.
Movie kicks ass. Oh, it's so good. So rain starts pouring after. So these people are like, oh, so those other guys who are with you, they're like fucking evil, right? Like those big Hork-Bajir things. They like draw a Hork-Bajir and they're like, that's
Diablo.
Evil, right?
Yeah.
Diablo. And Jake is like, oh yeah, no, super. They're super evil. And they're like, cool, we'll kill them. And Jake is like, sweet. Thank you so much.
Nice. You're some sort of monkey spirit, I take it. They're like, yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, sure. We'll be monkey spirit. And it goes as well as it possibly could have.
Yes. And then rain starts pouring, and the kids get like a nice little quiet moment to rest, sort of. Cassie is over like talking to Jake, and they have a little bit of a like quiet alone conversation while the rain is coming down, while everybody's resting.
Jake tells Cassie, he really likes her, but he also has feelings for Marco.
Yeah. And it's like hard to reconcile. And she's like, it's okay, baby. Like, we don't have to be monogamous. We're like, this is the end of the world. I want you to live your truth.
Yeah. The human heart is capable of so much love.
What she actually does say to him is, so Jake, you're unwell.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, That is true.
This is another solid Cassie moment where she's just like, hey, so buddy, you're not doing too hot, huh? And then is this also where Jake like and I'm trying to be the leader and it sucks?
No, that's later on.
Oh, okay.
So with her, he's just like, yeah, I'm really tired. This sucks. And she points out, like, you and the leader of this, like, indigenous group of people who we were just talking to, Polo, she says, you know, you two are really similar. You're both the leader. It seems like you're both kind of de facto in that. And also that all you can do is make the next best choice you can.
Yeah.
So you're doing great. Like, you just need to hang in there. No, when Jake explodes, it's because Marco is being a little shit to him.
He doesn't need that from him.
He doesn't. Be a better boyfriend, Marco.
Right?
So chapter 19, we're at 6:49 p.m. because they have taken quite a bit of rest, and that time jump stressed me out. It's been over an hour since the last chapter.
They fell asleep.
Yes, they fell asleep, and Jake wakes up because there's a jaguar at his feet.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Jaguars are like one of the deadliest, quietest killers. There was a podcast episode, I want to say it was like a segment of maybe a This American Life back in the day, where a like nature journalist talks about their experience being stalked by a jaguar in a jungle.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
it is one of the scariest things I've ever heard in my life. So this stressed me the fuck out, and it stresses Jake the fuck out. And he is like, okay, I'm going to touch you now. Because when they get DNA, there's like a moment of calm between you and the animal.
Yeah. So, and they just sort of like chill for a moment.
Uh-huh. So he wakes everybody up and he's like, hi, here's the plan. We're all gonna get this DNA. Super niceys. Axe, you're gonna go last because you can run really fast and you have weapons on your body. So we're all gonna get this DNA and then we're gonna fucking run.
Run and morph at the same time.
Yup. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But they do it. And just before they do it, Cassie rips off some cloth from her shirt and uses it to make sort of like a necklace out of this computer for the bug fighter for Jake to wear as they're morphing so that he can keep it on him while he's a jaguar. They get into this jaguar morph, and again, like, it rules. Like I was saying with the tiger, they're like totally in tune with the rainforest, super observant of like every single movement and every indicator of life. It's really beautiful.
It's really cool. It really puts you into the scene, this writing.
Yes.
And it's like, I was reading this and I'm like, oh shit, this is awesome. What they need to be jaguars more, which once again sucks because they can't, because they lose it.
Absolutely blows. So we are now at chapter 20 of 23. It is 7:05 p.m. and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we gotta figure this shit out somehow fast. They're cutting it so close on time. Jake is having a great time in Jaguar Brain. We have this passage that I think is really cute, describing the jungle as like every time he thinks that he's seen everything possible, the jungle is like, not even, we got another thing. We got another thing. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing for you. And I just thought that was very sweet and very cute. They finally, with the help of Tobias, who's been scouting, they find the bug fighter and the blade ship. And they're both in the same spot. But they did not crash in the same spot. So the bug fighter has ostensibly been dragged over to the blade ship. And they're like, Jake has like a little moment of intuition where he's like, that can't be good. But he just ignores that, which like, Jake, girl, have you learned nothing in this book? Trust your intuition, obviously.
You're getting visions. Like, now more than ever is when you trust your intuition.
Yes. Obviously, Jake, please. I don't even think he really learns this lesson by the end of the book either.
No.
Like,
No, because it's a time travel book, so he just ends up right back where he was.
Yep. Chapter 21, we're at 7:36 p.m. There are Hork-Bajir and Taxons around this area.
But there's not a lot of Hork-Bajir.
No, there's not, which is also a red flag.
Yeah.
Right as I was reading this, I got a co-star alert. This is, for people who don't know, like the astrology app. It's famous for giving you alerts every day that are like a very quick glimpse at your horoscope reading for the day. And they're known for being like ominous. The one I got literally as I was reading this is, your intuition is screaming.
Wow.
Yeah, that was Jake, co-star, not me. Don't even worry about it, man. Anyway, so they're working on the ships. The Hork-Bajir, the Taxons they're working like crazy, and they see Visser 3 in the Blade ship. They think like, okay, there's something with the Hork-Bajir because most of them aren't here. And this, so while they're trying to figure out like, what's our next step? We can't just be stowaways on one of the ship because they need both of the ships to have this Dracon beam pew pew situation. Mm-hmm. They're like, we could try to bargain with Visser 3, but he is literally Visser 3, so that's probably not gonna go well.
He's just going to kill us.
Right, straight up. And Jake is like, I don't know. And Marco is like, you need to know. You are our leader and you need to know. And Jake is like, I don't know. And Marco is like, you can't pussy out on this one, fucker. We need you. And this is when Jake loses it.
Totally valid. Like
totally valid. Valid.
He was not elected leader. They made him leader.
Yes. And he doesn't want it. He doesn't fucking want it. That's way too much responsibility for him. And while they're having this fight, Cassie interrupts. And it's like, yeah, that's all cool, boyfriends, whatever. Jake, how come you're the only one who has these visions? How come you're the only one?
Yeah. And that's when Axe is like, oh, hey, we might not exist, actually.
Right. Jake, you might be the only real person here. And Jake is like, what does that mean? And Axe is like, literally, don't worry about it.
That was part of my homework, so I don't entirely know.
And then, as if shit couldn't get worse after hearing, Jake, you might be the only person who makes it out of here, Tobias is like, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Visser 3 rippled. He's a hologram. This is a trap.
Mm-hmm. And that's when just like the biggest piece of shit hits the fan. And like 3 of them immediately die. Or not die, but like
get devoured.
Yeah.
Because chapter 22, 8:00 p.m. Visser 3 is in a morph that's like a fucking horrific vine monster underneath them, gobbling them up. He is full cosmic terror right now. It's so fucked.
I felt just like pure depressive horror reading this.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, he's instantly like, you know, once like 3 of them were taken out, I was like, okay, so yeah, there's definitely going to be a rewind button. But right now, fucking, this sucks. Like,
this sucks.
And Visser 3 is just having such a good day. Just, a bunch of cats and a bird. I can do this easily. This is your final morph and a light. Like,
he's living it up.
2 of the vines on his morph are just actually mustache things that he's twirling. Like, he is having a good day.
He's having a great day. And then the indigenous peoples of this area come back. They're hitting they're hitting like the Hork-Bajir with the spears. That's all going great. Jake gets back into his spider monkey morph and starts like climbing. He starts Shadow of the Colossusing Visser 3, which is sick.
He has a line here that like if this was in a cartoon, he would say this and then like the cartoon's theme song would start playing. Like it's one of those moments. Yeah, the Lurdathak loomed huge above me. Its 1,000 bullwhip tentacles slashed the air. Is that you, my last Andalite? Visser 3 crowed. Is that little creature your final morph? Pathetic. And then he says, maybe so, I thought, but as far as I'm concerned, you're just one big jungle gym. Oh, I loved it.
No turning back, no backing down.
Yeah, yes.
That is the theme song from the show.
Terrible theme song. Oh, like
great moment.
I read that, and then for some reason, I don't like. We've been rewatching it, but like the Gravity Falls theme song started playing in my head. That's the moment, you know?
Absolutely. And he looks at Polo, the leader of this indigenous people's like little, I guess, hunting group, and he thought speaks to him like spear. So Polo throws the spear, Jake monkey catches it and drives it into Visser 3, which is fucking sick. But then he's falling, and then again, this is the second to last chapter, and it just cuts off. And then we hit the final chapter, chapter 23, 8:19 p.m.
Oh my god. And they're back outside the Safeway.
Because Jake fucking died.
Yeah. Like I assume he took out Visser 3, but like Visser 3 also took him out or something.
Yeah.
Or wasn't there like a brief description where it looks like he was like hung with the in the vines? Like he dropped down, but one of the vines was around his neck.
Right. Yeah. Fucking brutal.
Yeah. Jeez, no punches pulled.
No. So he's back at the Safeway and no one knows what the fuck he's talking about. So he winds up, he's like, okay, instead of investigating this, we are leaving.
Yep. Let's just get the fuck out of Dodge right here. And he's like, he's, laughing maniacally this entire time, just like, no, we are not doing any of this. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It's very funny because in this moment, I think that Jake understands that he is, in fact, very sane. But externally looking in, this is the least sane he has seemed this entire time.
Yeah. And then he's like, what? He explains everything to everybody. And Axe is like, oh, okay, well, it must have fixed itself the other way, which was when, you died. All of your consciousness sort of snapped back to the other you that existed at the same time. And Jake grapples with that for a lot less time than I thought. Just,
yes.
Oh, wow. Well,
well, all right.
That's that.
And then it just ends with Axe being like, yes, Prince Jake. And he's like, don't call me Prince Jake. And Axe is like, yes, Prince Jake. End of book. Okay.
Get these kids into therapy once again.
Literally. So this one was fine. It was fun. It was very stupid. It was kind of a waste of my time, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's allowed.
This is my problem with time travel,
right?
Is that it doesn't progress anything. Even the character of Jake, like he only progressed like a little bit. Like his arc throughout this book was that he felt guilty for asking others to risk their lives, and then it culminated in him sacrificing himself accidentally, kind of. And that being the answer to everything, which is an arc, but it's not a good lesson for him.
No. And again, he learned nothing. He didn't even come away with like, oh, maybe I should trust my intuition. Maybe I am right sometimes.
Yeah.
Nothing was gained here.
It just wrapped up too quickly at the end.
Way too quickly, which is like, it's a standard Animorphs problem, but it really was highlighted here.
Yeah.
It's fine, though. It was fun. It was fun.
I liked everything about this book except for the time travel. That's...
Yes.
And so I enjoyed the book.
Except for the main plot.
Yeah. Except for the main impetus of the entire story, I really enjoyed it.
Well, let's move on to our rankings of the babies.
Okay.
Have your rankings changed at all since last time?
They have.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So I will say Axe is at the very top.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I liked him in this book. And I liked the fact that they sort of grew him a little bit with, oh, he plays games. Oh, he's interested in, romance, and he's still an innocent baby. I love Axe, even if he eats weird.
Yes.
And then under him is Tobias.
Okay.
And it's, Beast Boy rationale. I spent 3 years as Tobias. So I love Tobias, and this was a very good Tobias book. He is on point.
Yes.
And then I want to say it's Jake and Marco are tied.
Okay.
I think they're tied for third. Because they don't want to be too far from each other.
From each other, right.
And I think my positioning of Rachel and Cassie swapped. I like...
Me too, actually.
I like Rachel. I respect Rachel. But I really like Cassie coming out of her shell in this book. She really endeared herself to me. And I was not a Cassie fan.
Same. I'm completely with you. My list this time at top, I have Marco still. He pulled some shit in this book that I am not fond of, but he is just so adorable and we talk the same way. And so I am just simply endeared to him.
Yeah.
After that, I have Tobias. I thought that he fucking ruled this book. He has been so solid the last 3-ish books. He has been consistently one of the most emotionally mature together person of these Animorphs. I love him. Then I have Jake. He shot up quite a bit here. This happens every time we get a POV book. I just really like being in his headspace again.
Yeah.
And he was really funny a lot of this book with the square dancing. Love him.
So cute. It was so cute.
After Jake, I have Axe. Really loved Axe in this book. Really loved how fallible he was allowed to be and how much of a normal person he was allowed to be.
They sort of de-Spocked him a little in this one. Which I like.
Yeah, totally. And then I have Cassie and then Rachel. This is the only time Rachel has ever been my bottom of the kids. I love her. We just didn't get a lot of her this book. And she was, when she was around, wasn't great. She was saying some crazy shit and then some normal shit and then being a bear and having bear carnage. And I didn't love that.
I really hope with these books, and it's not something I paid attention to or really recall from when I was a kid, but I really hope it's not one girl or the other. I hope we get moments where Cassie and Rachel both have time to shine. Because we don't really see a lot of that.
We don't. I do like that the thing that keeps them sort of opposed in these books for me on who is getting more screen time and more spotlight, it really never feels like it's because they're the two girls. It feels like it's because they're philosophically diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
And that's so satisfying. I think that's a much better fit than a lot of media that has both boys and girls in it from this era.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it's not boys buy more things, and this is sci-fi, so that's a boy thing. So we're going to have more boys than the girls.
Oh, I'm sure that that's part of it too.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's part of it too. Joshy, our next segment. You'll have to remind me if you've done this one yet. Have you done a forever morph?
What is... No. No, I have not. Is this if I was in a Tobias sort of scenario?
Yes, that's exactly it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't prep you better on this.
Oh, okay.
Yes, new segment. Mm-hmm. We can do this after your Nowvermorph so that you have a little bit more time to think.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. I also, because you are unprepared, I think that it is totally well within your rights to take some time to think about it, because you only get one.
Yeah, that's true.
Take some time to think about it and then to send me audio later. Does that sound more equitable to you?
Oh, no. I'm going to Rachel this one.
Okay, all right. And I will not give you my Forever Morph. I am in a data collection phase.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, I'll give my Forever Morph at the end of the series when I have taken in all suggestions of Forever Morphed and I have all of the data and I know what is the ideal Nothlet form.
Ooh, okay.
So if you've got a Forever Morph for me, let's hear it.
Okay. Does it have to be an actual animal? Could I say Andalite? Like...
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, Joshy, that is a good one.
Yeah, I'm going Andalite. I'll be a blue centaur.
Oh, my God, yeah. Would you... Okay, no, you couldn't... If you're a Nothlet as an Andalite, you don't get, like, still the Andalite morphing powers. Right? No, because it's technology. It's not biology.
Yeah, but I would still be a centaur with a blade tail and telepathy. Like,
yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. That is a great pick that I literally had not even considered.
Oh no, I just realized I did a Visser 3.
Classic. I love it. I love this for you. And now, our final segment, Nowvermorph. If you were going to morph into something right this very instant, what would it be?
I want to be one of those cool giant-ass beetles that Jake was horrified by. Like one of those big-ass stag beetles. Those things are rad.
Yes. I would go snow leopard. It is very snowy here in Syracuse. It is beautiful. It's like that nice pillowy snow. And I just want to frolic through it so bad, but not be cold.
That would be so much fun.
I want it to be comfy, right? It just sounds really fun. I already like the snow. I already think it's beautiful. I would love to just comfortably be able to go trot around.
That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Joshy, thank you so much for joining me here.
I was going to say, do you have do you have any predictions that you want to update?
No. After this, no.
Yeah. It's not really giving much.
No tangible impact. This is the first time in this whole series that, like, no, nothing that just happened has informed me about anything.
Yeah, it really hasn't.
No.
Time travel!
It can happen.
Yep.
Okay, sure. You kind of, I was kind of already, like, over being phased by these sorts of things when the last book had a fucking android in it. Like, sure.
The saddest fucking androids ever.
So fucking sad.
We were made to be dogs, so we're loyal and we have a huge heart. And now I'm going to do something monstrous that I'll never be able to forget.
Jesus Christ, these books are so intense and so good. Thank you, as always, for joining me. This has been so fun. I'm so glad that I got to talk about this specific book with you.
Oh, yes.
I'm so glad that we were both on our goofy bullshit today.
Oh, yeah. This was so much fun.
So good.
Thank you for having me back. I always love to be on here.
Thank you.
All right. I will catch you next time, Will.
Absolutely.
Nevermorphed is hosted, edited, and produced by Will Williams. Our theme music is The Chase by Joey Hendricks. Our title is by Eddie Feely, and this podcast would not exist without Mike Schubert's podcast, Potterless and the Newest Olympian. You can find his works at shub.es, that's shub.es. Nevermorphed is a proud member of Hug House Productions. You can find more at hughouse.productions and follow us on Tumblr at Nevermorphed.
Get morphin'.
On March 27th, 2024, Elon Musk was deposed in a libel lawsuit filed by Ben Brody. Musk's lawyer, Alex Spiro, tried to retroactively mark the deposition as confidential, but it wasn't.
Of course I can ask him, do you think you committed actual malice? Do you think you were reckless? Of course I can ask those questions.
The deposition is a new Hug House podcast reenactment of the entire deposition, word by word, in full, taken very seriously.
Things that he did wrong.
But that's the point. That's not what you're allowed
Until he really just can't anymore.
Not what you're allowed to do in the deposition. You can't just get him talking.
The deposition drops on the 4th of July, 2024, with 4 weekly episodes. Subscribe on your podcatcher of choice or find us at hughouse.productions today.